This is video 3, and this time I want to make this can look more realistic. In this animation that we made and exported, if I click space right now, we can see that it moves, it slides from one side to another, and this is not realistic for a can. In this video I want to put the can on the side and make it rotate. So I'll stop animation, I will disable render quality here in the left side and minimize the screen while we are in 3D viewport area. First, disable the background in the layer panel. I'll click on the eye to hide this layer, to have only eye. It's important now to start again on the first frame. So I'll have to move the playhead on the dope sheet to the frame number 1. And when I'm here, open this menu behind Gizmo, this transform panel. In this transform panel, I want to rotate the can, and I want to rotate the can 90 degrees on x-axis. So I have to go to rotation, slide x to 90. Of course, I could just write 90 or click enter and leave it there. And right now with the 90 degrees, I don't have yellow colors as on top side. That means there is no keyframes here. So now I have to make sure the can is selected and click I on my keyboard again. Once I click I have this insert keyframe menu, and this time I will have to insert keyframe that is rotation. Make sure you are in the frame 1. And once I do that, I can see these rotation fields became yellow as well as in the dope sheet I have new transforms added. I have rotation, rotation and rotation, 3 rotation items. It's called Euler, but we don't care about that right now. So now what I want to do is I want to see how this animation looks like. I will click space. And it seems fine because I don't want this can to change degrees any other time. So just changing on frame 1, it's enough to rotate the can. However, if I look at this can from the side and zoom out a bit and click play again, I can see that the can actually is moving above the red line. It's not reaching the floor, so I need to pull it down. So I can click G and say I want to move it on Z axis and move it down. And you see I have in transform panel, I can see that the numbers are changing from can. And right now if I move very close to the red line, it gives me 1.123 meters. I will change that number to 1, click enter. So now what I have to do is click again I to insert keyframes, and then I'll say insert available keyframes, and it will be added new frame on 1. If I click space to see how it goes, and now I can see that the can is starting at the floor but ends in completely different location, because the frames that I copied first time from frame number 1 into the frame number 96 is no longer the same. So I need to adjust that. So again, I can move to frame number 1. I select Z location keyframe. I can click Command C to copy. I can go to frame 96 and click Command V to paste it. I will click Command S to save it. So now if I click space to play it, I can see that it works fine. It starts at 0 on 1 meter in frame number 1, and when it comes back to frame number 1, it's again 1 meter high. So now if I move the blue playhead through the keyframes, I can see that now the can is going up again. So I'll go to keyframe number 48 and I have to adjust Z again. So I know that it is 1 meter, so I'll just go to transform panel, and in Z field I'll just write 1 meter instead 1.5, and now it's on the floor. If I start moving again, you can see that everything I entered is gone. So I have to do it again. I have to go to Z field, enter 1, click enter, and at this point I have to click I to insert keyframes again, and I will select insert available keyframes. So now if I move it from frame 1 to frame 48, it stays on the same line and 1 meter on Z axis, and if I move to frame 96, it's exactly 1 meter as well, because I just copied the value from frame 1 to frame 96. So this animation seems fine. I can stop it. I will click Command S to save it. However, still when I see in this video, the can it's not rolling, it's just sliding. So my aim is to make it rolling. So I'll go to frame 1, and to make it rolling, again I have to apply rotation. It's okay to start with the rotation that is now here, and to start rotating it to the final point, which is frame 48, I would actually need to calculate how many rolls a can roll because of its dimensions. So I'll go just to rotation field. So it's the axis that I do not see. I see red, which is X, and I see blue, which is Z. So I need to actually rotate it around the axis that I don't see. And here, straight from the one that I'm looking, here is Y. So I need to rotate it. I don't know how many times I have to rotate, but I can scroll it to 360 degrees. And once I leave it, I have again not to forget to add keyframes. So I'll click I and insert available keyframes. And now if I click it, it runs very fast, but it looks that it is rotating. So I'll make this field a little bit bigger. So to see in this animation, to see better, I'll just scroll it myself. And it is rolling, but actually I think it's rolling a little bit too slow. So I will add more. If I want to make some changes, I have to go to frame 48 and change from 360 degrees, I will say 720 degrees, twice that. And again, I have to click I on the keyboard and click insert available keyframes. So now I'll go back to frame 0 and start scrolling it slowly to see if it's more realistic. And I should calculate actually, because the can size is 2 meters and 2 meters in diameter. So I have to calculate how many times it can spin around. However, I will not do it right now, and I assume 720 degrees will be fine. I will click Command S to save it and play it again. And this is fine. So this animation, it seems that it works fine. I could just enable now background. So to see the background, see how it looks here through the camera with the background, add colors. So add render view on the, and see how it looks with the colors. And it's very fast, but it's okay. I click Command S and I can go to render and click render animation. So now that the animation is rendered, I can see that there was a problem. If I slide the slider from frame 1 to frame 48, the can is rolling. But I noticed from frame 48 to frame 1, the rotation is still 720 degrees all the time. That means I have to go to frame 96 and inside transform panel inside the rotation, I have to set degrees to 0. Click enter or click somewhere else. And now again I have to insert keyframes. So I click I and click insert available keyframes. I will click Command S to save and I will slide to see what happens now. If this time it rolls. So I'll roll from frame 1 to 48, it spins, and from frame 48 I can see that the can spins as well. So now the animation is fixed. The problem that I have right now is that this animation, the can has exactly the same speed all the time. I want to change it because if we imagine cans spin like that, but to learn more about what you can do with Blender, let's make it a little bit more realistic. So I'll click space and I'll go to dope sheet. Inside the dope sheet there is this button here on the left. If I click on it, there are some options here, what kind of windows we want to have. And in animation area we can see that we have dope sheet, we can choose to timeline, and also we can choose graph editor. Of course there are a couple of more, but in this case we are interested in graph editor. So let's click on graph editor. Everything here is hidden, so I will click on disclosure button on object transform and see how it works here. So for me it's interesting how it rolls. So I'll click on X location. If I click on X location, I can see there is curve and I can move it around. So I'll click Command on my keyboard and scroll with 2 fingers away. And here when I scroll away, I can see how it rolls. I can click play and you can see that this red line indicates how the can moves on X axis. I can adjust it by clicking on one of the points. For example, I can click here, I have Bezier, and I can adjust it, how it should move. And now if I play it again, I can see that it starts slowly and it starts slowly around here and then speeds up here and then goes back in linear way again. I clicked somewhere else, so I have to click again on X location and I can again play around. So it starts slowly after this change and speeds up here and then it's linear again. So I don't want to do that. Actually I want to do exactly opposite. So I'll click here and make it shorter and move a little bit more up. So now I want to start faster and then it slows down. So it feels like someone kicked the can. So it started with a lot of speed and then the speed reduced. I will click here on this point and adjust, and I'll rotate this a little bit more like this, just to feel how it goes from here. So someone kicks the can, it's fast, and then it rolls back slowly. I can slow it down even more just by lifting this up, maybe more like make it a bit more straight, and see how it looks right now.